Jonas Brothers.
The Jonas Brothers were an American pop-rock band. Formed in 2005, they gained popularity from the Disney Channel children's television network and consists of three brothers from Wyckoff, New Jersey. Paul Kevin Jonas II, Joseph Adam Jonas and Nicholas Jerry Jonas. In the summer of 2008 they starred in the Disney Channel original movie Camp Rock and its sequel, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. They also starred as Kevin, Joe, and Nick Lucas, the band Jonas, in their own Disney Channel series Jonas, which was later rebranded for its second season as Jonas L.A. The show was eventually cancelled after 2 seasons. The band released 4 albums, It's About Time, Jonas Brothers, A Little Bit Longer, and Lines, Vines and Trying Times. In 2008, the group was nominated for the Best New Artist Award at the 51st Grammy Awards and won the award for Breakthrough Artist at the American Music Awards. As of May 2009, before the release of Lines, Vines and Trying Times, they have sold over 8 million albums worldwide. After a hiatus during 2010 and 2011 to pursue solo projects, the group reconciled in 2012 to record a new album, which was cancelled following their breakup on October 29, 2013. They have sold over 17 million albums worldwide.
History and music career. 1999 to 2005, Nick Jonas, Discovery and solo album.
The band started as a solo project for Nick Jonas. At the age of 7, Nicholas began performing on Broadway. He has acted in several plays, including A Christmas Carol, in 2000 as Tiny Tim and as Scrooge at 8, Annie Get Your Gun, in 2001 as Little Jake, Beauty and the Beast, in 2002 as Chip, and Les Miserables, in 2003 as Gavroche. After Les Miserables closed, he performed in The Sound of Music, as Kurt, at the Paper Mill Playhouse. In 2002 while performing in Beauty and the Beast, Nick had written a song with his father called Joy to the World, A Christmas Prayer. With background vocals from the Beauty and the Beast cast, Nick performed the song on the 2002 annual Broadway Equity Fights AIDS album, Broadway's Greatest Gifts, Carols for a Cure, Volume 4. In November 2003, INO Records received a demo copy of Joy to the World, A Christmas Prayer. The label released the song to Christian radio, where it quickly became popular on Record and Radio's Christian Adult Contemporary chart. While Nick was working on his solo project, Joe followed in his footsteps to Broadway, appearing in Baz Luhrmann's production of La Boheme. According to Nick, this was also the first year the brothers started writing songs together. By September 2004, an executive at Columbia Records found out about Nick's song. Nick was soon jointly signed to INO Records and Columbia Records and released the single Dear God. A second single, a new solo recording of Joy to the World, A Christmas Prayer, was released on November 16. It was supposed to be followed by a December release of a self-titled solo album Nicholas Jonas, but the album had been pushed back. It did, however, get a limited release. Nick, along with his brothers, Kevin and Joe, had written several other songs for the album. In early 2005, Columbia Records' new president, Steve Greenberg, listened to Nick's record. Greenberg liked Nick's voice. After meeting with Nick and hearing the song Please Be Mine, written and performed by the brothers, Daylight Columbia Records decided to sign the three as a group act.
2005-06, It's About Time.
After being signed to Columbia, the brothers considered naming their group Sons of Jonas before settling on the name Jonas Brothers. Throughout 2005, the Jonas Brothers had gone on several tours, opening for various artists including Jump 5, Kelly Clarkson, Jesse McCartney, the Backstreet Boys, and the Click 5. They spent the latter portion of the year on tour with Ellie and AJ and the Cheetah Girls. Additionally, they opened for the Veronicas in early 2006. For the album, titled It's About Time, the band collaborated with several writers, including Adam Schlesinger, Fountains of Wayne, Michael Mancini, Joss Stone, Desmond Child, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Billy Mann, Destiny's Child, Jessica Simpson, and Steve Greenberg. The album was initially supposed to be released in February 2006, but was pushed back several times. The delay was due to executive changes at Sony, the parent company of Columbia, and the executives' desire to have another lead single on the album. For the album, the Jonas Brothers covered two hit songs by UK band Busted Year 3000, and What I Go to School For. The Jonas Brothers' first single, Mandy, was released on December 27, 2005. Its music video was shown on MTV's Total Request Live on February 22, 2006 and reached number 4. Another song, Time for Me to Fly, was released on the Aquamarine soundtrack, also in February. In March, Mandy was featured in the Nickelodeon television film Zoey 101, Spring Breakup and the Zoey 101 Music Mix soundtrack album, with Nicholas Jonas listed as the artist name. The group's music was also featured on Cartoon Network's Cartoon Fridays. The band covered Yo-Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me, from Pirates of the Caribbean for the Disney Mania 4 album, released on April 4, 2006. Over the summer of 2006, the Jonas Brothers went on tour with L.A. and AJ. The Jonas Brothers also created the theme song for the second season of American Dragon, Jake Long, airing from June 2006 to September 2007 on the Disney Channel. It's About Time was finally released on August 8, 2006. According to the band's manager, it was only a limited release of 50,000 copies, so the album can be bid on auction sites like eBay for up to $200 minus $300 USD. Because Sony was not interested in further promoting the band, the Jonas Brothers then considered switching labels. On October 3, 2006, Nick's 2004 solo single, Joy to the World, A Christmas Prayer, was re-released on Joy to the World, The Ultimate Christmas Collection. Also in October, the Jonas Brothers covered Poor Unfortunate Souls from The Little Mermaid. Along with a music video, the song was released on a 2-disc special edition release of the Little Mermaid soundtrack. The second single from It's About Time was Year 3000, which music video premiered on Disney Channel in January 2007. The band was ultimately dropped by Columbia Records in early 2007.
2007-08, Jonas Brothers.
After being without a label, the Jonas Brothers signed with Hollywood Records in February 2007. Around the same time, the brothers began appearing in commercials for Baby Bottle Pops, singing the jingle. On March 24, 2 additional songs on 2 different albums were released, Kids of the Future, from the Meet the Robinsons soundtrack, based on Kim Wilde's Kids in America, and I Wanna Be Like You, from Disney Mania 5. The Jonas Brothers made their first appearance at the White House on Monday, April 9, 2007, during the annual White House Easter egg roll, where they sang the national anthem. They returned on Wednesday, June 27, 2007, during a Celebrating Women in Sports T-ball game on the South Lawn. They sang the national anthem, and, after the game, the Jonas Brothers entertained at the picnic reception with a selection of their hits. Their self-titled second album was released on August 7, 2007. It reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 200 chart in its first week. 2 singles with music videos were also released around this time, Hold On 2 weeks before, and SOS 4 days before the release of the album. In August, the Jonas Brothers made several appearances on television. On August 17, they guest-starred in an episode of the Disney Channel show Hannah Montana titled Me and Mr. Jonas and Mr. Jonas and Mr. Jonas. They also performed We Got the Party with Miley Cyrus in the episode, which premiered after High School Musical 2 and was viewed by 10.7 million people that night. On August 24, the Jonas Brothers performed 2 songs at the Miss Teen USA contest. The following day, the closing ceremonies of the Disney Channel games aired, featuring a performance from the Jonas Brothers. The games were taped on April 27, 2007 in Orlando, Florida. On August 26, the Jonas Brothers co-presented an award with Miley Cyrus at the Teen Choice Awards. On November 18, 2007, they performed at the American Music Awards, performing the song SOS. On November 22, the brothers appeared in the 81st annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. For their final performance of 2007, the three brothers performed their singles Hold On and SOS at Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. The Jonas Brothers kicked off their Look Me in the Eyes tour on January 31, 2008 in Tucson, Arizona. They performed several new songs on the tour that were slated to be on their third studio album, A Little Bit Longer.
2008-09, A Little Bit Longer.
The Jonas Brothers' third studio album, A Little Bit Longer, was released in the United States on August 12, 2008. On June 24, 2008, iTunes announced that it would release 4 songs from A Little Bit Longer, one roughly every 2 weeks. The purchase of each of the songs applies to the cost of the entire album, which could be purchased via iTunes Complete the Album feature after release. Each song released also featured a podcast. The schedule: June 24, 2008 for Burnin' Up, July 15, 2008 for Pushin' Me Away, July 29, 2008 for Tonight, and August 5, 2008 for A Little Bit Longer. All of them have occupied the #1 spot on iTunes for at least 3 days. After the Look Me in the Eyes tour ended on March 22, 2008, the Jonas Brothers announced that they would be opening up for Avril Lavigne's Best Damn tour along with Boys Like Girls, but only on the second leg of the tour in Europe, which lasted from late May to late June 2008. While filming the film Camp Rock, the Jonas Brothers co-wrote and co-produced 6 songs for fellow Disney Channel star and close friend, Demi Lovato, for her upcoming album, Don't Forget. Lovato retooled some of her songs to give it the Disney signature. Lovato, tend to write songs that are, I guess, a little bit more intense and less catchy, and I needed help writing catchy songs, she said, adding that the album also features a guest spot from Rooney frontman Robert Schwartzman. So that's where they came in. I put a lot of my musical input and lyrics into these songs, and they just helped me with hooks and stuff like that. I am more of a writer whose stuff wouldn't make it on a Disney album. It's too dark. The album was released on September 23, 2008. The brothers also helped produce Lovato's album. A soundtrack was released for the film Camp Rock on June 17, 2008. It debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 with 188,000 copies sold in its first week. During the summer of 2008, the Jonas Brothers started their North American tour, the Burnin' Up Tour, promoting A Little Bit Longer and the soundtrack to Camp Rock, performing songs from previous albums as well, It's About Time and Jonas Brothers. The tour kicked off July 4, 2008, at Molson Amphitheatre in Toronto. A Disney Digital 3D production crew filmed the 2 shows of their Burnin' Up tour in Anaheim on July 13 and July 14, 2008, including a performance by Demi Lovato with the Jonas Brothers on This Is Me and Taylor Swift with the brothers on Should Have Said No. Both shows and additional footage recorded while on tour were used for the theatrical release of their 3D concert biopic Jonas Brothers, The 3D Concert Experience on February 22, 2009. On July 14, Nick Jonas announced on stage that the band had already written 5 songs for their 4th studio album, third with Hollywood Records. The band was featured on the July 2008 issue of Rolling Stone magazine, and became the youngest band to be on the cover of the magazine. The Jonas Brothers visited downtown Cleveland, Ohio's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before their sold-out concert on the evening of August 22, 2008, at Blossom Music Center. The band presented the suits and pants they wore on the cover artwork of A Little Bit Longer to Jim Hunt, Vice President of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The suits are part of the Right Here, Right Now exhibit, which includes some of today's most popular artists. In December 2008, the Jonas Brothers were nominated for the Best New Artist Award at the 51st Grammy Awards. It was confirmed that the brothers would be collaborating with R&B producer Timbaland on a song called Dumb for his new album Shock Value 2. In an interview, Chris Brown told JustJar.com that he is collaborating with the Jonas Brothers. Brown said, "I'm possibly doing something with them. If they want me on the record, I'll stay on the record, but I just wanted to write a record for those guys." The Jonas Brothers appeared as musical guest on Saturday Night Live's 34th season on February 14, 2009, making their SNL debut. This performance appearance is also the only time they have been on the show.
2009, Lines, Vines and Trying Times.
The brothers finished recording their fourth studio album, Lines, Vines and Trying Times. They began to talk about the album in the beginning of 2009. They said on several occasions that they have been working on writing and recording songs since their Burnin' Up tour in mid-2008. On March 11, 2009, the Jonas Brothers announced that their fourth studio album, Lines, Vines and Trying Times, would be released on June 15, 2009. Nick said about the title in the interview with Rolling Stone that, "Lines are something that someone feeds you, vines are the things that get in the way, and trying times, well, that's obvious." Nick Jonas told Billboard, "We're trying to learn as much as we can, continuing to grow." Kevin added, "The overall message is it's the same old Jonas Brothers, in a sense, but we're adding more and more music, including different musical instruments that are going to add and build to the sound we already have." Nick also said the songs on the album are our journal and songs, about all things we've gone through, personal experiences we get inspiration from. We've also been working on trying to use metaphors to kind of mask a literal thing that happens to us. The band also announced on March 11, 2009 that they will be embarking on a world tour in mid-2009. They were joined by the popular Korean girl band Wonder Girls, who debuted in America, as their opening act. Before the release of Lines, Vines and Trying Times, they released two singles, Paranoid, a month before, and Fly With Me, 7 days before. Lines, Vines and Trying Times became their second #1 album. It debuted at #1 and dropped to the second position on its second week. On July 7, 2009, the Jonas Brothers announced that they have signed Honor Society to the record label they started with, Hollywood Records. A month later, Send It On was released on Radio Disney. The radio single was performed with Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, and Demi Lovato for Disney's Friends for Change. Disney Channel premiered the song's music video on August 14, 2009. On August 9, 2009, the Jonas Brothers hosted and performed on the 2019 Choice Awards. Hollywood Records announced via YouTube Demi Lovato and Jonas Brothers Walmart CD plus DVD soundcheck.
2010-13, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam and Split.
Joe was a guest judge on American Idol during the Dallas auditions. The episode aired January 27, 2010. They also reprised their roles in Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, the sequel to Camp Rock. It aired on Disney Channel on September 3, 2010. The movie was filmed all around Ontario, Canada. Production on the film began on September 3, 2009 and wrapped on October 16, 2009. Nick formed his own blues rock band as a side project called Nick Jonas and the Administration. The band consists of former members of the New Power generation. In late 2010, the brothers took part in a concert at the White House honoring Paul McCartney's reception of a Gershwin Prize for Popular Music by U.S. President Barack Obama. As a personal request from McCartney, they covered Drive My Car from the Beatles' Rubber Soul. On December 2011, a new song leaked on the internet marking the first time the brothers collaborated since Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. The new song is called Dance Until Tomorrow. Kevin hinted that the band's reunion was quickly approaching, as he told People magazine, "I think the tides are perfectly lining up for the future of the Jonas Brothers again." On March 6, 2012, the Jonas Brothers released a video on Twitter of them in their home studio, along with the hashtag #JonasBrothers2012, suggesting that a reunion was occurring. Joe was on tour promoting his debut solo album, while Nick started the revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying on Broadway. On May 1, 2012, the Jonas Brothers announced that they had parted ways with Hollywood Records, who had been their label since February 2007 and had released their previous 3 albums. Hollywood Records stated that the split was amicable, calling their work with the Jonas Brothers amazing successful, and that they wish Nick, Joe, and Kevin all the best in their future endeavors. The split caused Jonas Records to become defunct. On August 19, 2012, Kevin began appearing in an reality series, alongside his wife Danielle and brothers Nick and Joe. Married to Jonas documents the young couple's domestic life as well as the brothers' recording efforts as they prepare to release their newest album. On August 17, 2012, Ryan Seacrest announced on Air with Ryan Seacrest the first Jonas Brothers reunion concert after a long absence since Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam and Jonas L.A. in September 2012. The brothers announced 2 concerts in Russia that took place in St. Petersburg and Moscow on November 6, 2012 and November 8, 2012, respectively. On September 23, 2012, they announced that the release of a new single is imminent. On September 25, 2012, 2 concerts in the Philippines and 1 in Malaysia were announced. On October 3, 2012, a preview of the song Meet You in Paris was released on Cambio after a preview of the song premiered on Married to Jonas. Their reunion concert, which had been announced in August 2012, took place on October 11, 2012 at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, where they performed several songs from their previous albums along with a new song entitled Let's Go from their 5th studio album. During the reunion concert, they also performed a new song entitled Wedding Bells. Another new song, entitled First Time, was also debuted during the reunion concert. On October 29, 2012, it was announced that the Jonas Brothers would hold 2 concerts at the Pantages Theatre in Los Angeles. A 3rd date was announced on November 2, 2012. The concerts took place on November 27, 28 and 29, 2012, respectively. They performed at Jingle Ball at LA Live on December 1, 2012, and have announced several tour dates to take place in South America in February and March 2013 as part of their 2012/2013 World Tour, their first concert tour since their 2010 World Tour. They performed at the Viña del Mar International Song Festival on February 28, 2013 in Chile. Their 5th studio album, which will be their first not to be released through Hollywood Records since 2006 and their first record since 2009's Lines, Vines and Trying Times, was scheduled to be released in 2013. The lead single, Pom Poms, was released on April 2, 2013. The music video for the song was filmed in February 2013 in New Orleans, Louisiana and premiered on April 2, 2013. First Time, the second single from their 5th album, was released on June 25, 2013. On July 10, 2013, the group announced that their 5th studio album would be titled V, pronounced 5, the Roman numeral for 5. On October 9, 2013, the group cancelled their highly anticipated comeback tour days before it was slated to start, citing a deep rift within the band over creative differences. Following the tour cancellation, the Jonas Brothers' Twitter page went offline and the brothers' individual accounts became temporarily obsolete, causing several media outlets to report that a breakup was imminent. On October 29, 2013, the Jonas Brothers officially confirmed their split and announced that the release of V had been cancelled. During an interview, Nick Jonas stated that the album wouldn't be released but decided to release 16 recordings to their Team Jonas fan club members. "We want to do something special for our fans because they've been so supportive of us for so many years. What we've decided to do is package an album with 10 live tracks from the summer tour and 4 of the songs that would have been on V, and if you count Pom Poms and First Time, it's actually 6 songs that would have been on V. We'll be sending that out soon for the fans." The album was released with the title Live, noting the letter V in caps as a reference to their would-be 5th studio album of the same name.
Acting career. 2007, early acting.
The Jonas Brothers made their acting debut in Season 2 of the Disney Channel series Hannah Montana, where they guest starred and performed We Got the Party With Us on the episode Me and Mr. Jonas and Mr. Jonas and Mr. Jonas. Soon after, they collaborated with Miley Cyrus on her 3D concert film, Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, Best of Both Worlds concert, filmed during Cyrus' Best of Both Worlds tour, where they sang We Got the Party With Us with Cyrus as Hannah Montana. While on the Look Me in the Eyes tour, the Jonas Brothers filmed a Disney Channel reality short series entitled, Jonas Brothers, Living the Dream, that premiered on Disney Channel on May 16, 2008, which ran until September 5, 2008, documenting their lives on tour. It featured clips of the band rehearsing, traveling, performing, studying, and their personal life with their family and friends. The Jonas Brothers also did a half-hour variety special on Disney Channel special entitled, Studio DC, Almost Live, that featured the Muppets and other Disney Channel stars. During this time, the Jonas Brothers also appeared on the Olympics-based special miniseries The Disney Channel Games, for the third annual show.
2008-12, Camp Rock, Jonas L.A., and Married to Jonas.
The band made their film debut in the Disney Channel original movie Camp Rock, where they play a band called Connect 3. Joe Jonas plays the lead male role and lead singer Shane Gray, Nick Jonas plays the role of Nate, a guitarist, and Kevin Jonas plays the role of Jason, also a guitarist. A film premiered on June 20, 2008 in the United States on Disney Channel, and Canada on Family. It received mixed reviews. A Disney Digital 3D production crew filmed the two shows of their Burnin' Up tour in Anaheim on July 13 and July 14, 2008, including a performance by Demi Lovato with the Jonas Brothers on This Is Me and Taylor Swift with the brothers on Should Have Said No. Both shows and additional footage recorded while on tour, were used for the theatrical release of their 3D concert biopic Jonas Brothers, The 3D Concert Experience on February 22, 2009. In April 2009, the Jonas Brothers finished filming the first season of the Disney Channel original series titled Jonas. The series was created by Michael Curtis, of Phil of the Future and Friends, and Roger S. H. Shulman, Shrek, and directed by Jeremiah S. Chechik, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, The Bronx is Burning. The show title was originally an acronym for Junior Operative Networking as Spies. The original pilot was about a teenage rock band, Jonas Brothers, having double lives as government-hired spies. However, after the pilot was shot, the storyline changed and is now about a band of three brothers who have to cope with being rock stars while trying to live an ordinary life. The series premiered on May 2, 2009. On June 20, 2010, the series premiered its second and final season, rebranded as Jonas L.A., where the Jonas characters move out from their home in New Jersey to their Los Angeles mansion. After the success of Camp Rock, a sequel was in immediate development. The Jonas Brothers returned as the band Connect 3 and their youngest brother, Frankie Jonas, also starred. Disney had confirmed that they were writing the script, and filming took place in late spring or summer 2009. The Jonas Brothers made their big-screen feature debut as the voices and faces of the Cherubs in 2009's Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. On May 29, 2009, the Jonas Brothers were involved in an ABC television special called Unbroke, What You Need to Know About Money, where they talked about the importance of understanding the stock market. In 2011, the brothers appeared in the Visit California promotional film aimed at boosting tourism from the UK. On April 30, 2012, E! announced they had ordered a reality television series entitled Married to Jonas, which they stated would primarily focus on Kevin Jonas' marriage, however would also focus on the 2012 comeback of the Jonas Brothers. Married to Jonas premiered on August 19, 2012. Its second season concluded on May 26, 2013.
Personal lives and philanthropy.
The Jonas Brothers are of Italian, from a maternal great-grandfather, German, Cherokee, English, Irish, Scottish, and French-Canadian descent. The Jonas Brothers earned an estimated $12 million in 2007, and have donated 10% of their earnings to their charity, Change for the Children Foundation. Change for the Children Foundation is a foundation started by the Jonas Brothers, where contributors donate to charities in places such as Nothing But Nets, American Diabetes Foundation, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and Summer Stars, Camp for the Performing Arts. The band stated that, since August 6, 2008, their diabetes care has partnered with Nick Jonas as a diabetes ambassador to promote the idea for young people to manage their diabetes, as Nick was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 13. Nick testified in the U.S. Senate to promote more research funding for diabetes. The Jonas Brothers have been strong supporters of DoSomething.org. In 2007, the brothers filmed a public service announcement raising awareness about teenage homelessness and encouraging teens to begin jeans drives in their communities to donate to the homeless. In 2010, Nick further volunteered his efforts for Do Something by offering his time as a prize to teens who donated jeans to Do Something and Aeropostale's Teens for Jeans campaign. Further, Nick filmed another PSA, this one in support of Do Something's Battle of the Bands campaign, for the advancement of music education in schools.
Discography.
It's About Time, 2006, Jonas Brothers, 2007, A Little Bit Longer, 2008, Lines, Vines and Trying Times, 2009.
Publications.
Burning Up, on tour with the Jonas Brothers, November 18, 2008. A behind-the-scenes book, documenting the Burnin' Up tour, a behind-the-scenes book, documenting the Burnin' Up tour.
Awards and nominations.